Miss,
Mrs. Mama.
You want me out the way or in the?
I'm taking pictures of the other kid.
Huh?
I'm taking pictures of him. Hey, thank you.
Oh, the little boy?
Yeah.
Come on.
He wants a picture of you.
You can stay with me. How about that?
In the name of God, the beneficent, the merciful, we bear witness there for one God to whom praise is due forever, the sender of every prophet, every disciple, messenger, and warner sent from heaven above. We have collectively come here today to speak straight words to the District Attorney, Tom Selleck. We have come here today to demand that Tom Selleck requests that the Department of Justice come in and take over the internal investigation into the corruption within this courthouse with jury tampering by the district clerk. He knows very well what she did, what she was doing, and he has a tremendous, great idea how long it's been going on. But he wants us to believe, DA Tom Selleck, that he does not have the power nor the authority to write a letter requesting that. He's a liar if that's what he's telling the public. He has the authority and the power to request that they come in for the sake of transparency to take over this investigation. We want the Texas Rangers to produce the facts of their independent investigation into the district clerk's office and jury tampering and present that finding to the public. We do not want the results of the investigation to be kept private or internally kept within those who are working on the quote-unquote investigative team. We want Tom Selleck to agree that he will make all of the evidence public and that he will make the findings of his quote-unquote internal investigation public. We want Tom Selleck to answer the questions. Why have you not up until this point requested an outside agency with jurisdiction above the state and local level to come in for the sake of transparency and take over this investigation? We want Tom Selleck to give us the proof that he's put a grand jury together to weigh all of this evidence. We want to know, has Jerry Yenny been subpoenaed? We want to know, has Jerry Yenny been subpoenaed to appear before a grand jury that Mr. Selleck is putting together in this case? We also want to know from Mr. Selleck, why has not this district clerk been charged yet? With nothing. With nothing. You mean to tell me that if you get pulled over by a cop in Brazoria County and you just write a fake name on the ticket, you go straight to jail?
Yes.
But this woman was forging and tampering with documents, dealing with juries on purpose for years, and she is not in anybody's jail cell yet to this day. And he knows that she resigned because she knew she committed criminal acts. So why is she not charged, Mr. Selleck? We understand that she could be charged with something right now. And as additional information is brought forth, you can enhance the charges. But to let this woman walk free, like nothing has happened, enjoying her pension because she's one of you all from inside the building, from the inside, this is nothing more than the wolves protecting the hen house. Mr. Selleck, quit playing games with the people. Be honest with the people. Tell the public what you really know about what she did. Don't lie about this. But you know why they don't? I'm going to tell you why Mr. Selleck is covering this up. Because of potential lawsuits that are coming because of the tampering with all of these juries for 11 years. They know that when the lawsuits come, they have the potential to financially break Brazoria County. They know that. So they got to try to clean it up to limit the impact and to limit the devastation financially that this county is facing right now, because what they did was corrupt, it was illegal, it was wrong, and yes, it was criminal.
Yes.
Mr. Selleck knows this. So now there is a concerted effort, a conspiracy, in my opinion, at the highest levels of Brazoria County to protect the judges who knew, to protect Jerry Yenny who knew, and to protect Mr. Selleck's office too. because he got wind of it way before it ever went public. He knew some of this stuff. We want someone else from the outside, not Mr. Selleck's office conducting this investigation. Mr. Selleck's office, for the sake of transparency, should not be allowed to conduct this investigation.
That's right.
That's what we want. That's what we're asking for. And we want to know, why is it, Mr. Selleck, you know that this woman tampered with the documents and not one single charge to this very day has been filed against this woman? That's a con game, and we know it. It's not passing the smell test. I say to Mr. Selleck, you cannot urinate on our leg and tell us it's rain. We know better. We want the truth to come out here.
Yes.
We want the entire investigation findings
That's right.
to be presented to the public.
That's right.
That's what we want.
That's right.
Dr. Candace Matthews.
Hello, as he said, I'm Dr. Candace Matthews. I am the statewide steering committee chair for the Texas Rainbow Push Coalition under the leadership of the Reverend Jesse Jackson. Also, I am the statewide Harris County accountability chair for the Texas Coalition of Black Democrats under our state chairman, Carole Robinson. The Rainbow Push Coalition joined and demand and transparency independent investigation conducted as it relates to jury tampering here in Brazoria County. Jury tampering is a crime. The unduly attempt to influence the composition and the decision of jury during the course of a trial fundamentally error the confidence of the community in the judiciary. The unrepresented exclusion of people of color from juries has selectively undermined the credibility and reliability of the criminal justice system, and there is an urgent need to end this practice. When courts sometimes have attempted to remedy the problem of discriminatory jury selection, in too many cases today, we continue to see indifference to racial bias in jury selection. Too many courtrooms across the country facilitate obvious racial bigotry, discrimination every week in criminal trials during jury selection. The unrepresented and exclusion of people of color from juries have seriously undermined the credibility and reliability of the criminal justice system, and there is an urgent need to eliminate this practice. Equally, Brazoria County violated the process and principles that afford individuals the right to a trial without prejudice. The families have come forward and are entitled to answers, and an investigative body must guarantee that those responsible are held accountable. We, the Rainbow Push Coalition and the Texas Coalition of Black Democrats, believe the patterns and practice of jury tampering across the country heightens our cause and commitment to the fight for equal protection under the law. This problem has persisted far too long, and request that the law cannot be achieved unless it is eliminated so justice can be a reality for all. Thank you.
Brother Eugene Howard.
It's this great thing that we're all taught in elementary school. From pre-K on up, it says, the end of it says, with liberty and justice for all. And as we stand in front of Brazoria County's courtroom, we know justice has not been served in this building behind us. Now, the state NAACP is well aware of the situation. And along with Mr. X and Rainbow Push Coalition, we demand transparency. We demand to be able to see the documents. We demand to be able to look at the results of the investigation. Now, I want to go on record of saying that the Brazoria County NAACP, as well as the state NAACP, met with the DA, Tom Selleck, and him and his office gave us their word that we will not get a summary of the findings, that we will go through tooth and nail, dotting I's, crossing T's, to the results of this investigation. And again, like we heard before, we don't need the fox guarding the hen house. We need transparency, we demand it, and we will not tire until justice is served. Thank you.
Some of these families that you see standing here today, their loved ones had jury members on the jury pool that were husband and wives. one employee of the courthouse, another police officer working in Brazoria County. How can you have a husband and wife both involved in the criminal justice system in some capacity sitting together on the same jury? Look, this is wrong. Selig knows it's wrong. This woman should be indicted, but I'm telling you, the reason why they don't want to really do what they're supposed to do, because they're afraid of the civil litigation that will come down from 11 years of jury tampering in Brazoria County, Texas. And they know that juries will hear the truth and financially bankrupt this county. That's why they don't want to do what needs to be done correctly. But I say to Mr. Selig, man, you ain't been on the job that long. You just got the seat. It's incumbent upon you to show the public and the voters of Brazoria County, Texas, that you are not like your predecessors. That you are better than them. And that the corrupt behavior that took place before you will not be tolerated while you are sitting in the seat of authority. It's wrong what is happening here that nobody has been arrested in this case. And it's not just the district clerk. She wasn't in this by herself.
That's right.
She wasn't doing this by herself. Why you think they was resigning so quickly? 3 and 4 in 1 week out of one office. He know what's going on.
That's right.
Where's the grand jury hearing this evidence? Look, it's up to you all, to the media, to raise tough questions. We'll take your questions now.
So Cornell, I know that she was elected in 2010. How many families do you think might have been impacted by this, or how many have you heard from? What do you know as far as the numbers?
We have heard for well over 100, at least 100 and something families, well over 100. The last count was 101. But I'm telling you, that is the tip of the iceberg. There needs to be a special commission appointed by the governor to come into Brazoria County and do this research. For 11 years, you need a blue ribbon commission with some independent financing, with a team of investigators to go all over Texas to these prisons, and to go to these quote-unquote foster parents who were allowed to take people's children because the jury was tampered with in their favor. You got to find those kids. So that needs to be a special commission. We may never know if that type of commission is not put in place. Look, you got children who were stole from their parents. My sister here, her children were stolen in this courthouse. That's evil. That's wickedness. See, what Mr. Selig need to understand, when you steal people's kids like that, and you did it tampering with the jury so they would lose their children, that's what make mass murderers. That's what make people commit mass acts of insanity. So what are you doing, Mr. Selig, to send this mother and others like her a message? We will get to the bottom of what took place with your case and others like yours. But they don't see that. Look, the biggest crime right now, them brothers sitting in prison, or many of them and sisters who shouldn't be there. But you stole these people's kids.
That's it.
You robbed kids.
Yes.
Next question.
Can you talk a little about some of the examples of the tampering? I know you mentioned a few things. What are the most common things?
Come on over here, sister. Y'all come on over here. Let them go one by one. Y'all take about 2 minutes, though. Don't take it long. We got 1, 2. Come here. Come on over here,
My grandson, please.
We got 3. Y'all go ahead.
Can we have your name?
My name is Linda.
Can you spell it for us before?
Last name Hager, Hagger. First name Linda, Linda. My son has been wrongfully incarcerated for 11 and a half years. He didn't get a fair trial. They never questioned me, my daughter, or my ex-husband. They just slapped the cuffs on him, took him in there. They didn't allow me inside the courtroom. And the trial went so fast. How can you have or put time on a person in 3 days? 3 days.
in less than 30 minutes, they made a decision, guilty, and we're going to give him life. And he can get parole in 28 years when he's 56 years old. And I'm 76. I'm not going to allow that to happen. Myself and other families that's standing behind me have induced this wrongfulness, this wrong convictions that this DA and others like her has done to our families, and it's not right. Me, myself, I would like to see those cuffs put on them and let them see what it feels like to be marched behind prison walls and let doors close behind them and can't get out, can't see who you want to, can't eat what you want to, can't talk to who you want to, can't go where you want to, and let them see how it feels to be wrongfully convicted and your life taken away from you. Today and any day after this, justice will prevail.
Yes, it will.
Amen.
When you say was convicted?
Excuse me?
When year?
He was convicted in 2010.
And it was under bar check, Ron.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
And as far as the jury selection process, what do you think was wrong about that? In your
From me not being able to go inside the trial room, but as people that were, it was not of his peers. And they already had their minds made up, from my understanding, on what they were going to do to him before he even got in there.